Am I the asshole for refusing to be a live-in nanny for my brother and SIL? So I, 22F, have just graduated university. I worked part-time the whole 4 years and occasionally babysat my brother's 30 kids, 5F and 3M, to earn some extra money. I still lived at home and still do, and managed to save up a bit. I planned on going traveling to take some time out before I look for full-time work. However, my plans are on hold for now. The part-time job I did have, which was a constant source of income, has closed up as the company has shut down. I'm actively looking for a job, but a lot of places aren't hiring, so the only kinda money I get is from watching my niece and nephew or unemployment benefit, which isn't a whole lot. I was watching the kids one night recently where my brother and SIL came back. When the kids were in bed, they said they wanted to talk to me about making the babysitting a more kinda permanent job until I found something better. They said they wanted to pay me to be a nanny and basically watch the kids on a more full-time basis whilst they were both at work. I initially thought this sounded great, as it meant I could do full-time work during the week, spend some time with the kids, still have weekends to myself and earn some money. I asked if that's what they wanted, and they came back with they wanted a live-in nanny and they had ridiculous requests for the job. They wanted me to give up all freedoms and move into their spare room. I couldn't go out to meet anyone or have any plans on my off time unless it was someone they know or pre-approved contact. My work hours would be a standard 9 to 5, but I would have to be on a constant 24/7 notice period for the children. I had to contribute to the household and do chores, cook and clean. Any money I have saved is rendered null and void and must be handed over to them as security, so I don't spend it all or make decisions that impact the household. I would also have to get rid of my car, which my dad pays for, and give up my phone so they can get me a phone plan they pay for and can monitor, and I couldn't drive my car, only their one. The list goes on, but basically they wanted me to give up every aspect of my freedom to become, I guess, their house slave. I told my brother and SIL to go to hell if they think I'd let them control my life, and I told them to find someone else to babysit their kids. I've since received texts from them both saying they're struggling with childcare and that I'm an idiot to turn down a job offer when I can't find anywhere else. I told my parents all this, and my mum thinks I should grin and bear it for a while, and my dad is furious and says they're trying to control and abuse me. I really could use the money, so IDK. Edit. Everyone overwhelmingly has stated they want to use the fact that I have failed to secure a job after graduation against me, so I am dependent on them, and that I should in no way even consider this. I have refused to babysit for them again, and many have suggested I reach out to UK services to report them for violating labour laws, or if they try to recruit someone else. I think I will go NC for a long time with them and distance myself from my mother, as my father seems to be the only one who has my back. I will provide an update in due course once I figure stuff out. Not the asshole. If your mom is pressuring you, they should be the ones to be a live-in nanny. Your brother's terms are outrageous. Absolutely don't do it. Not the asshole. Their expectations are completely unreasonable. Employers don't get to dictate what you do in your time off the clock. Not the asshole, and your dad is reacting appropriately. These are absolutely disgusting demands, and wildly illegal too. They want you to become an actual domestic slave. Look it up. Thousands of people are victims of this every year. You won't. Grin and bear it for a while. If you do it, it will destroy you mentally and financially. NTA. Listen to your dad, that's insane and totally abusive. There is no way they'd be even trying to enforce these requests on outside their family. You'll find a job, I'm sure it's just hell out there at the minute. Not the asshole. They want a slave and don't plan on paying you ever. They told you they will keep your money as security. This is slavery. Don't do it. Don't babysit ever again either. Tell your mom if she is so keen on this arrangement she should agree to do it and be her kid's slave. NTA. Siblings don't equal super nannies. My siblings try to push their kids off on my all the time. The fact that they want you to drop your whole life just shows they plan on taking full advantage of you and use you for slave labor basically. Not the asshole. That's not what a nanny is. IDK. If you just made this up or what? It's incredibly weird. If it's true, keep TF away from these crazy people. Not the asshole. Tell them that slavery was abolished in 1863. Not the asshole. When I started reading I thought it was fairly reasonable, until I kept on reading. That's not reasonable at all. I understand they don't want you to mix with a lot of people while being in their house with their kids, we are in the middle of a pandemic. But controlling every other aspect of your life and take over your whole life, it's not okay. If you're in the UK and you drive, why don't you get a job at one of the supermarkets as a delivery driver? They have been recruiting non-stop. Not the asshole. They are essentially wanting to control every aspect of your life and, like you said, make you their house slave. They want someone to basically raise their kids and keep their house tidy without actually doing it themselves. Don't you dare think of this proposal as what they want you to do as disgusting. It's a shame your niece and nephew will suffer, but I would refuse to babysit and go NC with your brother and SIL. Any money I have saved is rendered null and void and must be handed over to them as security so I don't spend it all or make decisions that impact the household. I would also have to get rid of my car, which my dad pays for, and give up my phone so they can get me a phone plan they pay for and can monitor, and I couldn't drive my car, only their one. So they want you to pay them and surrender any means with which you could use to leave the situation? I suppose it's nice of them to be so upfront about the fact that they intend to enslave you. That doesn't happen so often these days. Not the asshole. Don't go over to their house again. They're fucking crazy. Your brother and sister are completely divorced from reality. This sounds like serfdom, and I really only barely exaggerate here. I'm pretty sure that some of the details of this proposed arrangement are actual violations of labor laws. Not the asshole, and please do not even consider taking this deal. Info. Where is this coming from? These are insane requests. It seems like you had a pretty amiable relationship previously and they trusted you with their kids. What changed? Not the asshole, not even a close one. That's your money, your car, your phone and your freedom. I understand that you love your niece and nephew as well as your brother, but this is seriously screwed up. If this was a boyfriend doing this, it would be serious red flags. It's the exact same here. Why should they get to decide how to spend your money? How does driving your car impact them? There is no rational reason for these demands. Please take care of yourself and don't allow yourself to end up in a toxic situation. Not the asshole. If you're in the UK, you need to reach to the appropriate resources that deal with human trafficking and forced labor, if only to have a record. Don't underestimate their behavior. Not the asshole. They want a slave. I am pretty sure it is illegal to keep your money. And on what ground do they think they can take your car and decide on whom you can meet? Those people are control freaks, and I would be very worried for you if you had to live with them 24/7. Not the asshole. You were right to refuse the job offer. Everything they outlined is meant to trap you. It's disturbing that your brother and SIL approached you with this. My mum thinks I should grin and bear it for a while. Your mom is the asshole for this. Don't listen to any of her advice. It's a weird reaction to the demands that were made of you. My dad is furious and says they're trying to control and abuse me. Your father immediately saw this for what it is. Listen to your father. Your brother and SIL are worse than being AHs. Keep your distance. Some of the stuff posted on this sub is the stupidest shit I've ever read. Why anyone needs reassurance that they're not the asshole in this particular case is beyond me. You brother and SIL need to be checked into an institution and their kids taken away. Not the asshole. Sounds like you'd not see that money again. Definitely keep your money and car. If you want to babysit more, then do it on your terms, but whatever you do, don't move in. Glad your dad is supporting you. He seems like he's got the measure of them. Lol. Not the asshole. I am an asshole, so I'd be bringing this up every time they talk to me for the rest of my life. Remember that time you tried to literally enslave me? Ha 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 ha. Info. Did you ever ask your brother why going from part-time nanny to full-time nanny required giving up your friends, car, phone, and life savings? I absolutely don't expect him to have a good answer because there is none, but I'd be super curious to hear what he thinks is good reasoning. I also wonder if he's ever tried this type of controlling behavior before, or is this totally out of the blue? Also, obviously not the asshole. Not the asshole. I was an au pair, live-in nanny, for a year for 3 children, and I only had to work 8 to 4 with 2 half-days off during the week and the weekend off. They gave me a monthly salary, sickness, a phone plan, food, and I was able to do anything I wanted in my free time. Also, I didn't have to clean anything besides my own stuff. Stand your ground. Man, fuck this sub. It sounds like your brother and SIL are trying to make you so entirely dependent on them that you can never give up the job. If you agreed, they'd be able to hold absolutely everything over your head. Who the hell thinks it's okay to treat someone like that? Not the asshole, but your brother and SIL sound like a lot more than just a holes. I feel bad for their kids having to grow up in that environment. They are suggesting an arrangement which is literally abusive and illegal. You are doing the right thing to just cut contact. It's a shame for your niece and nephew, but their parents are being Oz. I mean, I can understand wanting to have an understanding of who you're meeting up with during the pandemic, but all the other stuff is nuts. How the FCK is this even real? Are you sure they're not FC King with you? I'm really struggling to see why you would post here. You're obviously not an asshole for not wanting to be a slave. What's so confusing about this situation? Give us your freedom, no, fuck you, was I wrong, They didn't ask for a live-in nanny but a house slave. Your money null and void. No car or phone and no free time. No sane person is going to take on a position like that. Thank you for having enough respect in yourself to see that for the toxic and hostile living environment that it is. Having a live-in nanny does not give the family that kind of control over a person. And the whole no money, no car and no phone is an extreme red flag. That's how people spend years locked in basements. Not the asshole. Keep standing up for yourself. Not the asshole. Your dad is right. Your brother and SIL are being abusive. They're not allowed to control your life, finances, friends, and constantly monitor you. They clearly don't understand what a nanny is or how to treat a human. They're having problems finding childcare because what they're asking for is illegal. Info. Their requests are very bizarre and very inappropriate. 1. Are they this controlling with each other or the kids? 2. Is one of them being abused? 3. Are the kids safe? Not the asshole. Please don't go over to their house ever again. Not for anything. People who would do the things they have outlined are not family. They are wicked, wicked people and should be treated as such. You need to put yourself first here. Yes, the kids are innocent, but that doesn't mean sacrificing your entire life for them. Who knows how you would even get out of that situation if it happened. My guess would be that they would move to keep you from your parents. Try to keep an ear out in case they try to trap some other poor soul and call the authorities. Not the asshole. This is very weird op. It's not normal. Let them say what they want, just keep your distance and strength. Did you guys grow up in an environment like that? What they are asking is absolutely horrific. The only request I find has any merit is, in these days of COVID, they don't want you to carelessly expose yourself and bring it back to their house. That's reasonable, and what those boundaries are would certainly be up for discussion. Absolutely everything else is complete bullshit. It's not a nanny, it's a slave. Tell them if they want a nanny, you can be a nanny. Tell them if they want a slave, they can go fuck themselves. Not the asshole. It was NAH until they started with those ridiculous demands. People are so self-involved. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. This isn't a how a live-in nanny works, at all. You don't hand over all your worldly possessions. Just reading this gave me the heebie-jeebies. This is domestic slavery and it's incredibly illegal. It feels like he's a breath away from asking for your ID and passport so you can't make a run for it, he's already asked for your money and transportation. If you really need a job, I'm sure you can find a normally functioning babysitting or nanny job. I know a lot of people in my city are trying to find babysitters or nannies to avoid sending their kids back to daycare. I took a quick peek and sites like Indeed have a bunch of babysitting nanny job postings in the UK. Not the asshole. I was a live-in nanny for family for 6 years and it sucked. And I never would have even considered doing it with all those stipulations no matter how great the kids were. You are an adult and they have no right to try to control your life like that. They want a slave. This is illegal. Not the asshole. This is absolutely fucking insane. Something is wrong with them to even think this is normal. If they ever get a foreign worker nanny, I'd do the person a favor and keep a close eye on the situation because this is super abusive and odd behavior. Not the asshole. Their demands and expectations were wholly unreasonable. Not the asshole. This wasn't a job offer, it was an unreasonable demand. They were asking for a slave. At your age, you should be having the time of your life, enjoying your freedom and making your own decisions. Not the asshole. Sorry, this isn't a job offer. This is kidnap. Big not the asshole. And #X200B. It's your life and you get to dictate it. Their child care problems are theirs, not yours. Same with your mother. Not the asshole. They suggest making the babysitting more kinda permanent job until you find better, then proceed to give that insane list of requirements, which basically means taking your freedom and money and monitoring your communications etc. Seems to me they essentially will prevent you to actively seek better job. And should you somehow find something and wanting to move on, you sure they would just let do that? Like not pressuring, not guilt tripping. Blood might be thicker than water, but so is shit and they are full of it. I'm so glad your dad is on your side. And yes, it's unfortunate if your relationship with your nibblings suffer die this, but it really is because of your bro and SIL. Good luck with the job hunt. Not the asshole. What the fuck do they think nannies do? Get rid of your car, have your phone monitored. They are fiend insane. How much are they willing to pay for 24/7 access? They have a problem with childcare because they are lunatics. Offer to keep the kids 40 hours a week, preferably without staying there, and tell them your price. If you want to stay there, extra money for child care after 40 hours, they pay you and you keep your money, phone no access for them, and car. Not the asshole. These terms are unconscionable. Being on call is one thing, having that much control over your life is another entirely. Your brother and SIL have shown exactly why they're having trouble with childcare. Not the asshole. What the ever-loving fuck. I had to contribute to the household and do chores, cook and clean. An employee is not a part of your household. Any money I have saved is rendered null and void and must be handed over to them as security so I don't spend it all or make decisions that impact the household. An employee's savings are absolutely positively none of your fucking business. I would also have to get rid of my car which my dad pays for and give up my phone so they can get me a phone plan they pay for and can monitor, and I couldn't drive my car, only their one. Again, an employee's belongings are none of their business. And this sounds controlling AF. Not the asshole, if this is even real. These requests are illogical. This post sounds like pure BS. Not the asshole. Your dad is right and absolutely you should tell them to pound sand. Alternatively, you can counter offer for higher pay. Hell no, you can't control my savings. I will be using my own car and no, I will not be on call for 24/7. Oh, and you won't be a live-in nanny. You can drop them off where you're staying. If your brother rejects that, just say, ask mom then. Not the asshole. You need money, but working for them already appears to be incredibly restrictive. Yes, you'd get money, but you'd also be miserable. Not the asshole. Shocking that your brother is having a hard time finding childcare when his terms of employment are so reasonable. Is this real? They are psycho. Run for the hills and avoid them like the plague. Oh my god, the entitlement.